Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another video for the Disney Save. Today we're going to be doing a tour of my absolutely new, brand new, beautiful Agrabah Palace build. If you missed the speed build, highly recommend that first, just because it's going to go over like a lot of the details and my thoughts and the process behind actually making the entire thing. And then today we're going to be getting into the floor plan, kind of looking around at everything, getting to see some of that stuff that I didn't get to showcase in the speed build because it's just so much to look at, quite frankly. So without further ado, let's get right into it today. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between kind of like the overhead view and the first person mode just so that we can really kind of see everything. I do think one of the things that kind of isn't great about first person is sometimes you get weird shading and weird lighting, and I just don't want it to take away from like my palace here. There's obviously so much to look at, so we're going to be going like kind of back and forth through. But here's the little spin around. We've got so many activities, so much to do, so much to see. Back patio area, lots of pools, lots of walkways, lots of different leveling and things like that. I think this comes out to maybe the max height of all of the different levels that you're allowed in The Sims 4 right now. There's basement levels and everything. We're going to go down there, of course, as well. So when you come up, you have this main gate here that kind of like blocks everything off. You've got the outdoor wall to separate it and make it secure, I guess, safety. Then you can also lock this door and make it the front door so that Sims are not coming all the way up the palace steps, things like that, and disallow vampires, disallow solicitors, things like that. Once you go through this door, up the set of stairs, you're going to end up at the main blue doors. My Disney collection book, which I'll be referencing a lot in this video, breaks down the castle, the floor plan, all the details. It referenced that this door is an emerald green color, but in every single picture and reference that I could find, I thought it was more blue. So I went with the blue option. I guess you could make the argument that, you know, blue, green, emerald, a lot of people kind of would argue about different colors, but I picked blue. Now here we have the front entryway. Of course, we've got the set of stairs that's going to take us up to the second level, and we'll be going up there in a little bit, but if you go past that, right immediately behind the stairs, we are going to enter the throne room. Absolutely massive and magnificent. We've got the Sultan's throne and chair. He has a little game, the Don't Wake the Llama, I think is what it's called, like stacking game that goes on this table right here. It just keeps deleting. The game does not like the way that I've placed that, so I have to keep like manually redoing it, but it's supposed to be there nevertheless. Not too much to say about this room. There's a whole patio area off the back and lots of openness and airiness. That was definitely the vibe. But off to the left is the first sort of pillow room. This is a lounging area. It's also very, very heavily based on Aladdin's sort of bedroom that he's staying in the palace when he is here. So you could use this as Aladdin's bedroom. I took it more as like a general living situation, like multiple people would use this area, especially being right off the throne room. Maybe the Sultan kind of like greets guests, has more personal meetings kind of in here. But if you were looking to have a space that I would say like is Aladdin's room, this is supposed to be it technically. And then I also put like a little bed out here for Raja. You're going to see lots of larger beds for him around. He is actually a dog. That's the way that we had to do it to make him. He'll be in the Creative Sim, which will be in the next video, and I'll explain a little bit more about him. But in order to get like the size of Raja and make him like the appropriate size, he has to be a dog. So he's got the larger beds here and there for him. And then again, just to kind of like check out this back patio area, there's a couple of different levels. We've got some just like pretty seating areas, toys and things for Raja, couple of those. These new pergolas, which I've been attempting to not overuse because they're really, really pretty. The flamingos that some of you had pointed out in the comments, remembered from the movie. And then we've got a pool on each side, and there's actually a sauna back here as well. I've never used this item in the Disney Save, so I was really excited to finally be able to pop it in. It's like the ultimate luxury to have something like that, and I think that makes sense, obviously, with regards to the palace. Back here in this little like tucked in corner, you'll see I tried to like just do some general outdoor patio type areas. I was very much thinking of Disney World. When I've been, there's places like this that are like tucked away in Animal Kingdom and in Magic Kingdom as well. very much themed after Jasmine and Aladdin and all of that, and it just gave me the vibe. So I tried to give like more seating, more things to do, try to utilize the space the best that I can, like tuck in little things like that. There's also just like a little fountain over here in the walkway. It adds to the elegance of just kind of like finding things around the palace. And then it's like left very open, so there's just so much that you could personally do if you wanted to like add things. There's this patio area, there's this one, and there's a bigger one, this big like red space up top here. So you could pop in little items if you need additional things, more activities. It leaves lots of space for customization. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I originally tried to do this tour in live mode just to showcase my characters because they're already ready to go, and they will be in the next video, but I wanted to show them off a little bit early. You can actually check them out already on my TikTok if you follow me over there. They're already kind of being showcased, but they set the house on fire immediately, so we had to kind of turn that off. Over here to the left is the dining room. This is the main dining space. I would call it the more royal one that Jasmine and the Sultan would use, and they would host guests in. And then through the walkway kind of off the back of the dining space, a little bit outside, but then past that is the kitchen. Really, really overdone with like so many different spices. Speak of the fire, you can actually see the remnants of what they've done here. This was unfortunate. I'm surprised that caught on fire because there's literally nothing here to catch on fire, but leave it to Jafar. He immediately came in here to cook and the place blew up and everybody ran out, so had to turn that off. But this is how it's supposed to look if everything's not burnt and ashy. We've got rice, the references to the peafowl, and then through here there is an additional dining space. I kind of called this like staff dining. It's that smaller, off the kitchen vibes, not super big, maybe just for staff members. You know how they have that like they stay out of sight kind of vibes. Oh, you know what? It might have been the curtain above here. So we'll play test that. My bad, my bad. People ask me all the time, like, when is this available? Can I have it right now? And like, they don't understand why it takes so long to get it on the gallery. One of the reasons is I usually don't release everything until I have like the whole world complete. But the other thing is it just takes so long to playtest everything. Like I have to make sure that stuff like that is not going to happen with fires and just putting curtains or rugs too close to things. So we'll work on that. Kind of in front of the throne room, have to tuck in the bathrooms. We need a couple here and there off of the left side of the throne room. Small bathroom, really simple, not too much to say about this. Kind of one of the reasons that these sort of rooms get cut from the speed build. They're just like really plain, and when they have to fit in these small towers like that, it's hard to do anything sort of unique with them. Now, on either side of the main entrance doors right here, there is two archways, and this is like kind of supposed to be secret passageway type vibes, but you can definitely see that it's here. There's like a little tucked in door, and then a set of stairs that's going to go down on both sides matching, but they do go to two different spots, so depending on where you need to go, you might have to go down either set of stairs, and we'll be going down there later. Instead, over to the left here, we have another passageway. This is one of my favorite hallways that I did in here. I absolutely love the tapestries and the detailing and the tiles. Really pretty. And then when you pass through a couple more archways, you get to this gorgeous, gorgeous library filled to the brim with books. There's a painting easel in here. There is also a desk in here, and the little typewriter computer that comes from cottage living, so that you do have a computer in here, although it's obviously not going to be the most accurate thing I've ever done. It's so functional and just like kind of needs to be here, especially for those bigger households. So there it is. And then you will notice that there is kind of like this curtain with beads on it tucked off to the side, and there's like a hidden bubble room with one of these, what do they call these? I always call, yeah, bubble machina. So I always just call them bubble machines. There's a couple of those tucked around the castle. That one's supposed to be the secret one, maybe for the staff hiding in the library, if you catch my drift. And for the most part, that's going to make up the bottom floor. There are some additional towers on the outside here. A lot of them are just like loungy spaces with little hanging cedary, pillows, lots of colors and drapery. The master bathroom of the build, and this is probably like the one thing that I had to place down that I was not super ecstatic about, like the particular layout I did, but it just works this way. functionally is this space over here, this larger tower kind of over near the library. And if you leave the library on the side, you can actually get here pretty quickly rather than going through the front door. And this is like the main massive bathroom, multiple bathtubs. There is a shower hidden in here over on the wall. You can see down on the floor the little grate. Look for stuff like that sometimes in my builds because I do try to make them just super functional. So even though a shower would not be accurate for Aladdin necessarily, or not that type of shower, we have to kind of have it sometimes, especially the bigger households. It gets annoying if everyone's bathing, in my opinion. So kind of making it look relatively nice and then like hiding those little things in here and there. That's like the master bathroom for all intents and purposes. And again, yeah, this is mostly the main floor. Now going one floor up, there's not as much to see on this floor. A lot of it is this red patio space. These stairs that come up from that front entryway area immediately lead into this room here, which is just for decor. I wanted these just like grand open spaces with very minimal like actual furniture because I feel like the lounging spaces needed to be more like pillow rooms that were sort of like tucked into the towers. So more of like architecture statements, lighting, the fountain. This particular fountain, I have literally been waiting to use this until I did this palace. This has not been used anywhere else in the save so far. And another bubble machine, because why not? Now going out and sort of over this way, we have another tower that's attached to this, and that one is going to lead up to the top floors, which is Jasmine's room. So we won't be going there quite yet, but over here, this tower that is actually above the kitchen is the royal princess pillow room, as I'm calling it. This is specifically one of Jasmine's lounging spaces, maybe where she has friends over. She has a little table in here where she can do her makeup and mirrors and like little snacks and goodies, bread, fresh fruit. It's got a balcony that she can look out over onto Agrabah with. And some references to her in here from like the color scheming and also the little tiger plushies from For Rent, of course. One of my favorite rooms in the palace, and it was actually referenced from my Disney Castle Collection book that she specifically had that bedroom in addition to the one that she had upstairs. Now over here on the same level as the rest of this, but actually accessible through a set of stairs on the bottom floor that we were just on, is the Sultan's bedroom, which came out so stunningly. I think his is one of like the perfect renditions of the usage of Courtyard Oasis. Like everything in here just looks picturesque. Got all of his colors, lots of usage of the tiling, lounging spaces of course for him, tea, and just a really functional space overall. He has a kind of hidden door over to the side here with a little bump out tower, and this is his playroom, we'll call it. The Sultan collects toys, and they are showcased in a couple different ways in the film. So one of the things that one of you had commented is that he should have the childish trait so that he can play with the toys and like pop a little treasure chest in here, a toy chest in here for him to actually use them. So I went ahead and did that, and that's like his area to display them, collect them, or play with them, however you would actually like to run that character through. Now again, like I said, we've got the set of stairs that goes over here. This is accessible through this like little fountain room area. You can go over in here. And then we're gonna go up one more floor. What's interesting about the way, like I complained a lot about the stairs in the last video, and this is why. So I really had a hard time figuring out how to get this last set of stairs up to Jasmine's room. So what I actually did is the stairs do go up to this platform here, and they link to this door that's on the side. So your sim will just walk up to this flat foundation. This part of the roof is actually technically on the floor above, and I've moved it down into place with tool. So you won't see her go, or you won't see anybody go like through the stairs up through here because this piece is like essentially blocking it. But it was the only way to get these stairs up to her room and absolutely like keep the space and be able to fully furnish it and really utilize it without having stairs impede the floor plan or have a ladder, which would have looked really strange. Here's the overview of how her room turned out. It is by far the best room in the palace. It's so colorful. It's got references to tigers. She's got her own little private bathing space, the peafowl, and then of course we've got the giant round platform bed that I have been playtesting, and it's functional. So we're good to go. I'll be making a tutorial that I'm going to put out over on TikTok on like how to make this bed if you're curious. It's also in the speed build. This is my favorite Disney princess room that I've done by far. Even like the little details, like the little bed for Raja, and when I'm in play mode, in live mode, he immediately comes up here and lays down on that. Like he knew that this was his space. And I kind of have Jasmine and Aladdin both using this area and making it their bedroom. They love it. Couldn't say anything bad about it. It came out absolutely more than I could have ever imagined. And then if we go out of the back, there is her balcony off of the bedroom. So you can recreate the scene with the carpet and all of that. Came out beautifully. So exciting. The fourth floor actually doesn't exist because I've deleted the foundation in between to make her walls and her room super, super tall and kind of like make up the portion that is the roof here. There, you can sort of see this is the fourth floor, and I just deleted the floor in it so that she has the really, really tall ceilings. I think that makes the most sense. That way we don't have to worry about the ladder situation and the stair situation. So those are the upper floors of the palace. And then we're not going to be able to tour in first person mode very much, but when you go downstairs, like I had mentioned here, on either side of the front entryway, we have the two sets of stairs that are going to lead us down into the basement levels where Jafar's room is. And we also have a couple of other things down here. So immediately down the stairs on both sides, I've built these really small guest bedrooms, staff bedrooms, whatever you would like to use them for, just to add some additional sleeping areas to the palace that are supposed to be a little bit more like communally used, not the dungeon necessarily, but definitely not the lavish, elegant, grand open spaces of the bedrooms upstairs. But they are meant to be for staff. I might be adding some. A lot of you had talked to me about like adding different characters and kind of convinced me that I might need to do a couple of staff, maybe based off the live action. And then there are two sets of bookcases on either side. These are actually doors. They're hidden doors, and you can use these to get to two hidden locations in the palace. The idea obviously being that Jafar kind of travels through the walls of the palace to get to his space. So I wanted it to be a little bit inconvenient to get down there, and you could potentially lock those doors as well. So if you go down those on either end, you can get to two different locations. On the left, you get to the dungeon. It's very dark down here. I do apologize, obviously for obvious reasons. It's dark. Gameplay, role-playing, you know, might need those for a couple of different purposes. And then if you go down the stairs on the right, we have the Royal Treasury, which was showcased in my book. Lots of gold. This is where the palace keeps all of their treasures and gold and whatever. So this is kind of just for show, but also like characters can steal these. That's kind of the thing too. And then we've got Jafar's bedroom, which a lot of you really liked. So I'm excited about that because I wasn't quite sure about his room, like if it turned out to expectations. He's got the platform bed with the red drapery, some Star Wars lighting that comes in really handy for these like gothic-y sort of vibes and villain characters. But in this build in general, it kind of worked. And then he's got some potions and things, or a lot of these are like Star Wars bottles. The bird cage for Iago over here, lots of books. I feel like Jafar is a reader, possibly. And then the cauldron in the middle here, and a little fireplace. I kind of left this open because it's mostly shown to be open, but I also felt like I was leaving room for people to put additional things in this space, depending on if you're going to use my spellcaster Jafar or my vampire Jafar. You might want different items. There's kind of room for customization there, and I talk a lot about that in the speed build, so if you want to know more about that situation with Jafar, definitely check out the speed build. And that's pretty much going to do it for the tour video. It feels like it was kind of quick. But I hope you guys like how it turned out. This is not available on the gallery as of me making this video. Like I said, still in the playtesting process, trying to wrap up all of my Aladdin builds. I actually have one more Aladdin build that's going to go right across the way here. This lot. right across. This is going to be the main final Aladdin build. I also have the creative sim, and there might be a couple of other sneaky things coming out later on in the life of Oasis Springs, or soon, I'm not quite sure, but we're towards the end of the Aladdin content for sure, which means a new movie is coming out. Take your guesses down below what the next movie for the Disney Save is going to be. No one really has guessed it so far in the comments, so see if you can be the first one. Let me know what you thought of today's tour video in the comment section down below, and if you'd like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in my description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will talk to you all in the next one.